Thanks for bringing the news here on Headlines today. Gaurav Sawant gets you the latest on the weather from the flood-ravaged state of Jammu and Kashmir. It's over to Gaurav now.
2 days of sunshine, operations could take place at a fast pace. But now, if you look at the latest, now this Kashmir Valley, this Srinagar Valley is about 160 kilometers long. At the widest, it's about 35 kilometers wide. Now, this is the flow of the Jhelum River. It breached its embankment and came more towards the eastern side. And if you look at these worst affected areas from Badami Bagh to Jawahar Nagar to Shahid Ganj to the Secretariat to Batmalu, this is the badly affected area, Rainawadi also. The western embankment is relatively better. It's dry. That's where the Chief Minister's house is, Raj Bhavan is. This is the higher ground. So this is where people are safe. There is no water in this area. An effort is being made to make some of the relief camps in this area so that people could be shifted here. But let's look at what is happening in the valley now. What's the weather like? Well, 31 degrees Celsius is the temperature during day, 24 degrees Celsius in the evening, but 80% chance of a rainfall, thunderstorm in some area, and that could hamper rescue, relief and rehabilitation projects. That is where there is clear and present danger.
We are now inside, closer to the hospital, and there are two fire tenders here. We are trying to bring in the extra water that had gone into the hospital building. They're trying to remove that from inside the building so that it becomes hospitable in that sense for patients to be brought in. Let's just go inside the Bone and Joint Hospital. Remember, it used to be one of the busiest hospitals, which is in Srinagar, and even now whenever this hospital opens, and we are hoping that it opens at the earliest, because there's a huge influx of patients that needs to be brought in here. What we found inside as we were going inside the hospital is that it is relatively clean, which is primarily because of the work that has been done by the locals here to ensure that this, and local NGOs, locals who are working here, and doctors themselves who have been trying to clean up the hospital. As you can see, absolutely nobody here, but from what we were expecting before we entered the hospital, for it to be a muddy mess. Clearly, an effort has been made on the ground to make it better, but what is really lacking at this point is a push given by the civil administration to make sure that something as a hospital, and a hospital as important as the Bone and Joint, should be made operational ASAP. If you can see, right ahead is the X-ray department. I can show you the ECG department here as well. Obviously, most of the machines are not here. We're being told by the locals that, and the officers here, who of course being government officers cannot speak on camera. They're saying that on Friday, when the waters first came in, the hospital was officially shut down. And after that, what they made sure was all the machines were moved to Sonvar, because at that point, this was the area that was worst hit by the floods. And all the patients were moved because of the diligence done by the medical superintendent and his staff. But at this point, the question being asked is that for the Umar Abdullah government to make a push so that this hospital, which is the busiest in Kashmir, is immediately restored. There are enough doctors in the area, in Baghat, Barzila, which is the adjoining area, who can come here and work. Half the employees who work in the hospital are here. But what needs to be made sure that it is completely sanitized, which can only happen if the civilian administration puts that extra effort in. This is the X-ray department here, and that has still been hit by the water, which clearly means that there are some parts of this hospital that need immediate attention. It's appalling that a hospital which caters to so many people has been shut down for more than 5 days. And in such kind of a crisis where there are going to be more and more injuries and people coming in from different areas, it is imperative that this hospital starts functioning in the next few hours. With camera person Prashant, this is Mahrukh Inayat inside the Bone and Joint Hospital that still remains shut in Srinagar for Headlines Today.
Able to rescue ourselves from this hospital. We had come here to shoot and then we got stuck here. This is a team of people, my own crew, our own colleagues here with us. Ashraf Saab is with me. We've actually gotten stuck with this melee. We were trying to escape from one place and then got stuck into this hospital while covering these floods. With great difficulty, this NDRF team has come here and managed to rescue us from this hospital. Look at these people. These are the NDRF men who came to us and rescued us with great difficulty here. It was a dramatic rescue. We called them several times, and after listening to us, they finally came in and managed to rescue us. There is a lot of difficulty while rowing these boats. This is one of the tragedies of this entire incident. We were covering these floods live, and here is how we got stuck ourselves. With great difficulty, we have been able to come out of this entire situation ourselves. Look at this. Some females also with us. भाभी आपके साथ क्या हुआ था? कहाँ थे आप?
सैटरडे पे वो ऐसे मतलब हम सैटरडे से हैं सनवारा हॉस्पिटल में. वहाँ हमारा बच्चा बीमार था. वहाँ कोई भी नहीं था, कोई डॉक्टर नहीं था, कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, कोई ट्रीटमेंट नहीं हुआ हमारे बच्चे को. 15 बच्चे हमारे सामने गुजर गए. हम कल रात 8:30 बजे वहाँ से निकल गए किश्ती में. और कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, कोई डॉक्टर नहीं था, कोई ट्रीटमेंट नहीं हुआ हमारे बच्चे के साथ, ना कोई खाने के लिए कुछ था. हमने ग्लूकोज पिया.
Look at this. My colleagues are with me. Ashraf is with me. Ashraf, what happened with you? Ashraf, tell us what happened with you. What has happened?
You can see this is the one of the biggest hospitals of the valley. The biggest maternity hospital where patients from all across from valley come here, even from the Banihal patients come over here. But completely this hospital has now changed in a building like there is no one, there is not any facility, there is no any patient, everyone has been evacuated. Even when we entered in this building, we have seen that 6 people are trapped there who are being now rescued by these NDRF people. We will talk to one of them. Sir, यहाँ पर जो आपका रेस्क्यू चल रहा है, इसमें आपकी प्राथमिकता क्या है?
सर, रेस्क्यू करना हमारा प्राथमिकता है और हम सिविलियन को सारे को रेस्क्यू जो फंसा है उसको.
अभी तक कहा जा रहा है राजबाग का इलाका, ये जो इलाका जहाँ पर हम है सबसे मुश्किल इलाका है.
हाँ, मुश्किल इलाका है.
तो यहाँ पर अभी तक लोगों की हालत कैसी है जो आपने देखी अपने आंखों से?
हालत सर बहुत गंभीर है. तो कई लोग 4-5 दिन से फंसा है, तो भूखे प्यासे हैं और उनका हम रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं.
You can see
that's how we have been able to escape from this situation with great difficulty. Me and my colleague Ashraf, we were covering these floods, got stuck ourselves in one of the buildings. Now, with great difficulty, we've been able to come out of here.
Is this the biggest operation that the Indian Air Force has mounted, and what are the challenges that your air warriors face, sir?
Yeah, so what we had to do is to put in some measures straight away, and for which what we did is now firstly we had to identify which were the areas which were badly affected. Out of the entire area in J&K, one could say the area in the valley was by and large quite badly affected, and that too if you see what the topography of the valley is, the portions on the western side were not really affected. It's the eastern portion that we are talking about. So it's the southern and the central portion of the valley on the eastern side which was affected the most. So what the Air Force did was to set up 4 task forces, and 2 of them were south of the Banihal, and these were operating ex-Jammu and Udhampur, and there were 2 which were north of Banihal, operating ex-Srinagar and Avantipur. We had to marshal a lot of resources, okay, and as of today we have close to about 71 aircraft which are operating for the relief operations, which basically comprise of close to about 40 helicopters and 31 fixed wing aircraft. Now as far as the task is concerned, today is just the 6th day, but I think we've managed a lot. We have achieved almost about 650 sorties. We have ferried in close to about 600 tons of load. And as far as the aircrafts that have come inside with the load when they are departing, what we are actually doing is we are facilitating the travel of the tourists who have got stranded in the valley. So all in all, I think it's been quite a big effort.
So the Indian Air Force operations continue. The magnitude of the crisis still unfolding. With cameraman Vinod Kumar, Gaurav Sawant in Srinagar for Headlines Today.
The cheetah chopper has just dropped food materials at the terrace of this house. You can see that white bag, the black bag, some food material, and there are children on the other side who are clapping. People are waving and hoping that they will be rescued. And that is how the army is putting all its efforts to get people rescued. And if they can't be rescued, try and send relief materials, drop food packets. That was the cheetah chopper. We are sitting in a cheetah copter that specially operates at the Siachen Glacier. So now we are taking part in one of the relief operations, trying to provide food material to this family who is waving. They wave. There are two small children, two men, and few women there, right near the terrace, just few steps ahead. We zoom in close to the terrace, just right on the terrace. Now the door will be opened, and you can see how close we are to the house. Some Maggi packets and 2 bottles of water at the spot. I hope that will be enough for them. Yeah, there the child holding the Maggi packet and the girls waving, the women waving, and the man in the red shirt waving. There is a smile on their face. They don't know when they will be rescued, but they are happy. You can see that we took part in how the relief material is dropped, how close the copter goes. We gave an entire exercise, how the army is putting the operations into place, and there are packets still left. We will be continuing the operation till we finish all the relief material, all the food material, and we can head back to the headquarters then. With camera person Ravikant is Mosmi Singh in Srinagar for Headlines Today.
All around us are civilians, many of whom belong to the city, to the state, many do not. But with me is a person in uniform who belongs to this place and yet wasn't here when it all happened, but came here and is now being an asset to the Indian Air Force. Wing Commander Bali, thank you for the time. Tell me, how did you realize that you and your family were also suddenly among the many victims out here?
See, initially when the rain started and the water level went up, we did not realize it's going to be such a big devastation. So we were normal about it, but when the communication broke down, then the apprehension started going up.
Which area, sir, of the Srinagar city is your family in, sir?
My family is from Jawaharnagar, one of the most severely affected areas. So once we came to know the water level is rising, but the communication was lost. So I tried to call up home. Then I got a message that houses have started going down and water level has gone past 10 feet. I was really worried, but still there was no communication. I tried a lot, and just by God's grace, I got a few seconds call from my father, who told me that our house is destroyed and most probably he will not survive. So that prompted me to start my very long journey over here. I flew in from Nagpur to this place, and finally from Delhi, when I landed here, I took a helicopter, went to my house. I saw that my house was actually completely destroyed.
So your house in which you grew up and the house you knew as your home doesn't exist anymore?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It's totally ruined, and there was about 20 feet of water. And thereafter, so since now I wanted to see my parents in any form, alive or dead. So I got myself down on a cable, and I went down, and I couldn't see them. But then the neighbors pointed out to an adjacent building where they were, and there were also other people trapped over there. So with the helicopter, I went over there. I forced my way into the building by swinging on the cable and breaking open a window, getting inside. I gave supplies. I found all of them okay, but a little shaken up. I gave them food, water. I reassured them and told them that help is on the way. So there were a lot of ladies over there. There were a couple of old gentlemen who were in a bad way. So thereafter, I got a boat, got everybody evacuated. Once they were in safety, now my aim was to come over here and tell the authorities what is the extent of the damage over there. So towards that end, I started a 25 kilometer long trek. I was running, I was swimming, almost till I came to the Air Force station. In the last part, thankfully, the army helped me to reach this place where I told the authorities the extent of this devastation. Thereafter, we started sorties and we were able to pull a lot of people out. And once my own family was safe, then the realization came to me that my near and dear ones, my neighbors, my relatives are still stuck here. So I decided that I'm going to be here for as long as it takes to do as much as I can.
The narrative in reporting this tragedy till now has been that the men in uniform are the saviors of those not wearing it. However, as is evident from the story of Wing Commander Bali, a local from Srinagar who, like several other people, heard the story and the tragedy about his family on television, only goes to tell us that in this tragedy, the magnitude and the scale of which is such that there are simply no saviors. With camera person Parvinder Sharma in Srinagar, Jugal Purohit reporting for Headlines Today.